Welcome back to Hit Lists. Last one for a while, because we have to meet the final character, Jimmy Wilson.
Aye, it's not like I was winning anyway.
Jimmy Wilson is a product of inner city Glasgow, who loves football, boozing, belching, and hating the English. Jimmy is perpetually drunk. He believes the Brotherhood, thanks to its former ties to the dreaded Edward Longshanks, are simply the hated English in another form. So, Jimmy is positively absurd. If you thought Shrek was too subtle and restrained a performance, you're gonna love Jimmy.
Sometimes I just need to fucking punch.
So we're going for Luigi Palladino this time.
You see? I told
At the Riverside Houses. Rival mobsters led by Luigi Palladino, a powerful and corrupt real estate developer with ties to the Brotherhood, again, have taken control of the old neighborhood where Jackie grew up. He has big plans for this end of town and has already demolished some apartments to make way for new development. So he's just something of a budding slumlord, though not if we have anything to say about it. This is just going to be another one of those preemptive strikes as well.
Red, be quiet.
Just another day at work for our crew of hired killers.
Time to hit the North Side projects. These guys don't belong here. That neighborhood was mine. Take them out.
Alright, let's get cracking.
I've said a bunch that Jimmy Wilson is the worst of the four characters. Let's seize Darkness weapon before we judge too harshly. It's the Dark Axe. He'll just throw it at people. It's fine, I guess. I mean, it's neat, but it doesn't one-hit kill even the most unarmored and weak of opponents. Then you have to call it back. On the way back, it's actually much more deadly. It'll hit anybody on its return path. There's a strategy to placing it in the right spot and then waiting for people to get in the line of fire and then calling it back. But I find it much more effective to just shoot everybody. Jimmy's special power is summoning explosive darklings. We'll see those plenty of times. And his passive talent is improved durability. He's harder to kill. Takes more damage before his health bar depletes. Not based on a single goddamn thing from the comics. I honestly suspect that he's just the game's British writer blowing off a little steam by portraying the Scottish as drunken, sexist, violent, annoying pricks. Definitely seems like something a British person would do. That's Paul Jenkins, by the way, the writer, returning from the first game. And hidden all the way down here is a second relic. The Varja Bell. It looks pretty cool.
That is dead lovely.
Jimmy agrees. We'll never know anything more about it, though. And there's nothing else to know about Jimmy. First time I played through Vendettas, I picked Jimmy because he was the only non-racist character. By the end of the second mission, I hated him so fucking much.
Knock off, you numpty jobby.
But, you know, he had some of that awkward charm that video games have when they take a big swing at a bad pitch. So, you know, he's worth looking at, I guess. Anyway, Batman. The Darkness crossover with Batman is a huge turning point in the series. Jenny moves to Gotham City after the Wormwood incident and becomes a social worker specifically known for cleaning up Crime Alley. Of course, Bruce Wayne takes notice because that's where his parents were killed. But it's only a matter of time before Frankie Franchetti wants a piece of Gotham City. We haven't really talked about Frankie, but he's Jackie's adoptive father, and he's nicknamed Frankie Killed the Children 2 Franchetti. So he's a particularly ruthless monster.
Looks like they got a couple friends on the way. Take them out.
To let Gotham know that the Franchetti family has arrived, Frankie sends out Jackie to murder the existing crime lords of Gotham in the most gruesome ways imaginable. And considering the powers of the darkness, that's extremely gruesome. Oh, here's a little intentional death.
I'm coming, da! Get ready for an ass kicking! You will stop dying!
I just really enjoyed that death quote from The Darkness. So anyway, a bunch of criminals get turned inside out all at once, and Batman's a bit like, what the fuck? So he starts looking into it, and he finds that a couple of the remaining crime lords are having a little meeting to decide what to do. He bugs the meeting, knowing that it will be perfect bait for the killer. And indeed, everyone there is killed almost immediately. By the time Batman arrives, everyone's dead, and some Darklings are painting graffiti on the wall of the word darkness. And he sees them escaping. So he starts researching the word darkness, which should turn up a million results, but instead it only turns up Jackie Estacado. Because there's an FBI agent investigating him, that's a completely different story. But regardless, he ties the two together. Doesn't know that Jackie is the darkness, just knows that he's associated.
I'm gonna put my Highland tackety so far up your ass, you'll be shitting thistles till Christmas!
Yeah, what he said. And if you watch the melee attack on his axe, he just thrusts it at people. That's not how axes work, Jimmy. But anyway, Batman throws Bruce Wayne throws a gala for Jenny and other social workers. Jackie ends up being her +1. And they make a real cute comparison about how all three of them are orphans, and two of them chose paths of horrible violence, and one of them is doing good and the other evil, and blah blah blah. The long and short of it is, Uncle Frankie wants Batman dead. Jackie confronts Batman many times, but can never seem to kill him because he's having a crisis of conscience. Completely retconning everything we know about Jackie up to that point. He's the worst dude ever and has no conscience. But Batman is so pure and good that he makes Jackie reconsider his entire being. Uncle Frankie starts to suspect that Jackie's going soft and has him followed. And indeed, Jackie heads to the police station to turn himself in. He brings Jenny with him as a source of confidence to keep him from backing out. Frankie thinks Jackie's there to turn him in, though, so he shoots up the police station, and Jackie, Jenny, and Commissioner Gordon escape to the roof, where Batman arrives. But Uncle Frankie gets a hold of Jenny. He says he's gonna kill her as he slowly backs towards the edge of the roof, but Batman sees an opportunity to charge them. And in the chaos, Jenny gets knocked over the edge of the roof. Batman leaps over the edge himself to save her, and Jackie sends down a string of Darklings, barrel a monkey style, to save Batman. After that, Frankie gets extradited to New York City, and Jackie agrees to turn state's evidence against him. And Frankie gets put away. Spends the next many issues in prison. And Jenny moves back to New York City because Jackie's a good boy now. And I managed to wrap up the story before the end of the mission.
Hey, Scott! You lot weren't worth my time!
Next time we see these side characters, they'll be heavily upgraded for some much more difficult missions.